Jimmy Absua. Welcome to week number 18 at site. And this week I got back from my vacation. So technically I got back on Thursday of week 17, but I'm going to include it all in this video because it kind of fits together as one thing. So I got back on Thursday. I stayed Friday in Phnom Penh and then went back to site on Saturday. Phnom Penh was kind of nice to just ground and regroup because I'd been traveling for a little while. I got to stay in an Airbnb alone, so that was the first time in 6 months I've been in a space all to my own. Obviously, in the house I live in here, I have my own room, but I still share a household with 5 other people. So it was nice getting a place all to myself. Didn't have to share with anybody for 2 nights. Really relaxing, really nice, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Saturday I got to go out with some friends. Friday I got to go out with some friends, and then Saturday I went back to my province and we got right into the Khmer New Year. So from the 13th of April until the 16th of April is one of Cambodia's biggest holidays, which is the Khmer New Year. It's a 4-day celebration filled with lots of dancing, lots of games, lots of water activities. There's kids running around with water guns pretty much everywhere, super soaking everybody, as well as this white powder that they rub all over your face. For some reason, people will just come right up to you and put it on your face. You don't really get a say in the matter. Everybody's wearing it. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think it's baby powder. I don't know why they do that, but it was a lot of fun. So we pretty much spent 4 days doing the Khmer New Year. In the evening of the first night, when I first got there, my parents had this nice altar set up in the main atrium of the room. We went out to the Wat, which is where the festivities are held. They had a stage built, a bunch of food vendors, there's people dancing everywhere. And the stage the first night had live performances, live music, like traditional Khmer sort of stuff, but also people playing kind of some modern instruments, doing some like rockin' songs. It was super fun, yeah. And when I came home that night, I learned my host parents were watching this program on television that was basically, it looks like a really cheesy 80s movie, but it was a bunch of ladies dressed up very nicely, and they had like these glowing auras around them, and my parents told me that this is the changing of the angels. So for the Khmer New Year, every year there's a new angel that takes over for the year. So this was the angels changing positions and a new angel coming in to take over the year. Not necessarily 2024, but whatever this year is on the Khmer calendar. And the altar that's in the atrium that I mentioned was all decked out with food and coconuts and sodas and treats of all sorts, and apparently these are offerings to the new angel so that they will come into the home and bless the new year. So the next 3 days were pretty similar to that. They didn't have a stage the next 3 nights. There was just somebody kind of doing a DJ sort of thing. They were playing music on a speaker. But during the day we would play games. They had sack racing, they had tug of war, and then they had like kind of a clay pot piñata thing where you have this big giant bamboo stick and you're blindfolded and you get 3 tries to smack one of these 6 clay pots and see if you win a prize. I did win a prize. I got 2 mun, which is $5 basically, but it took me to my 3rd try to get the clay pot. It was pretty exciting. It was nice coming back home. It was nice being in just like the excitement of the new year. It was kind of difficult coming back from vacation and reintegrating with the language. because while I was in Malaysia, I just get to meet a lot of cool people, and because we have a similar language, we're able to connect. Even though they were from different cultures, like people who were from Malay culture, people from European culture, we're all able to connect with each other because we have this similar vehicle for connecting, which is the same language, basically, English. But when I'm back at site, there's a big wall, and that's, we can't get to deeper, richer connections because we don't have the same vehicle for language. And that felt to me a little bit challenging. Just to realize that there could be so much more depth if I knew the language, if they knew the language. It just made me realize what a powerful tool language is for connecting as human beings. But take what we have right here, right now. It's still good. We're still able to connect. Some of my family members and the teachers that I saw at the school, but I just don't get to feel like I'm as part of the conversations as everybody because so much goes over my head. And it's like, it's a mental workout to try and be a part of these conversations in a language that is still pretty foreign to me. So that was challenging, but still had a lot of fun. The fire truck would come during the day. It's also like 1 billion degrees out right now. April is the hottest month of the year, so everybody's cooling down with all these water sports. It's kind of the point of it. And so the fire truck would come in the middle of the day and basically hose everybody down, which was awesome. My host brother showed me you get a little bag to put your phone in. I had my cast on, and I had to put a bag and like tape it up so that the cast wouldn't get wet when I was getting hosed down. But it was pretty awesome. So that was Khmer New Year's, basically doing that 4 days in a row. And on the last morning of Khmer New Year, my host family all went over to our host uncle's house, and he and his wife basically, I think it was kind of like a recommitment marriage ceremony. Like they were doing something like getting married again, basically. I suppose I think of it as like a recommitment, like, yeah, just showing even more so I still really love you and we're gonna keep on doing this thing, which was cool to be a part of. A priest, I suppose, came over. It wasn't a monk. I don't exactly know what this guy's position was, but he came over and led this ceremony, and the rest of us sat around and watched the ceremony. Eventually, everyone in the family gave some kind of offerings. A lot of them gave money. I didn't give money. I didn't have any money. But you give some money, and then there's water, and you put water on the forehead of the person. I'm not sure why. I assume some sort of blessing, but I don't have the tools to know for sure. And by tools, I mean language. But at another point, there was like these big husks of something, and you peel it all off and you throw it all over them. It was like a bunch of beans or something. I don't know. And then we ate again. I had already eaten breakfast like an hour before that, and then we had more food, which is very, very Khmer. So that was all of Khmer New Year's. After that, I had kind of a day of chill, and then I went to Phnom Penh again, and this was to get my cast removed. So now I am cast free. I'm still technically wearing this brace for, they said 2 weeks from that day. And then on the 17th of May, I go back to Phnom Penh to do another x-ray. So fun stuff. I was already planning to go back to Phnom Penh in May to do an x-ray anyways. Well, not to do the x-ray, but in May that week, we'd go to another PDM thing, which is, it's like another training that we do, but I will explain more on that later. It was nice timing there that it happened to line up to when I go back and get this x-ray. And those couple days in Phnom Penh, mostly just hung out. I got to kind of, had another night in a hotel by myself, which was awesome. And then on the last night I was there, I stayed an extra day so that I could hang out with some friends. And we went to a Khmer drag show, which I had never been to a drag show before. So I got to have my first drag experience in Cambodia, and it was super duper fun. Yeah, these ladies were dressed up very, very beautifully, and they danced really, really well. And yeah, overall it was a cool experience, and I would probably definitely do it again. So then Sunday I took a taxi home. I got to hang out with some other friends in the taxi ride until I got home, and then I got home, and then the next day was school. And I'll talk about that in the next video. But that was my slow start back into integration period, and my last kind of week of resting before we do 5 straight months of teaching. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day wherever you are, and enjoy yourself.